Yo, what's good everyone? Momo-Dog here. I know it's been a while since I've last uploaded a video, especially one where I just sit down and explain things to you. But with this character there's always something to talk about, especially with how controversial he is. And as of late I've also seen some more discourse surrounding the character again, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about him. Because obviously opinions change, and the more I played, the more my opinion on him differed like once again. Even though ever since Season 2 dropped, I did feel like he was good enough to say the least. Just that relatively compared to other top tier characters, it was a bit hard to keep up with him. Well, to cut things shortly, I saw a video of Nee where he played Devil Jin, like 2 videos of him where he played Devil Jin. At the end of both videos, he said he never wants to play the character again, or like he's a character he shouldn't play. Then with Main Man, I saw a video where he said he's probably the undisputed bottom 1 character right now. I think, like, we're just in another one of those roller coasters where people will just change their opinions all the time. That's what I think. Because my opinion on the character is a bit different. Well, not only a bit different, it's very different from the both of them. I just wanted to mention those videos. You can check them out yourself if you want. There's good gameplay involved or like good explanation depending on whether you're watching Nee or Main Man. Definitely recommend checking those videos out. But I want to talk about the nature of Season 2 a bit, also how Devil Jin fits into it, what changed, the buffs, what kind of moves are super useful now, and why, in my opinion, he stands out in this meta. And why I don't think he's necessarily an undisputed bottom 1 character currently. So like, the nature of Season 2, especially with the HP buff, pokes have become even more neglectable, I feel. If you're playing a poking character, you will quickly realize your pokes are way worse at chipping away at their health. And usually the characters that actually succeed are those with explosive mix-ups. Or like very explosive tools. Say Asuka up for 1-2 into follow-up, especially when she's heat, or other similar moves like her down 1+2 or 1+2 mix. She has a ton going for her. It's just super explosive, and Asuka was never really known to be a poking character. She was always more like read-based, explosive, mix-up heavy, keep out heavy even. Like, she's a mixed bag. And she fits the meta better than any other character right now, I think. Because she's just so explosive and random. And I feel like you won't have much success playing in this meta anymore, trying to go for a clean poke-based gameplay. Like, I feel like characters like Dragunov and Shaheen fell off really hard this season, especially with the HP buff, but also some nerfs coming towards those characters. Like, if I had to describe the Season 1 meta in like very few words, I would say that was a bully meta. Because characters like Nina shined a lot. Nina, Shaheen, Dragunov. You know, those characters would just stick up close and consistently bully you with quick pokes or like fast value tools. And characters like Devil Jin just barely had any chance to retaliate because their faster tools were just nowhere near as strong. Things changed with Season 2, obviously. Now what is favored is heavy mix-ups, stance, gameplay, like even Devil Jin's Morning Cry has gotten buffed quite a bit. And like plus on block mids or like homing tools even that are plus into stance. You get what I mean. Characters like Jun or King or whatever you name it. All of those are somewhat more in the spotlight now. I think Devil Jin also counts as an explosive character these days. Not only because of this heat health, but also because of the new heat engager that you can enter from pouch. I will not lie. I think Devil Jin has the best heat engager mix-up in the game, because these two moves cover each other so well. Like whatever beats Wising 2 gets beaten by the heat hell sweep, and the only thing you can do to beat the heat hell sweep is Duck, which in turn gets beaten by Wising 2. And both of them offer you a full launch with a lot of damage. Like if you land one of these, get to the wall. This isn't necessarily a hard combo, but as you can see it's already 80 damage. And if I were to land a Wising 2, which these days also gives a full launch, which was not the case. Like, it wouldn't give you a proper wall split, that wasn't the case in Season 1, unless you got a, well, shorter term carry combo. The reward on both of these moves increased by a lot. And the fact that you have a launching mid now to mix or sweep up with makes the character all the more explosive, in my opinion. There's also a few new moves you got that you can work with now. Not only that my saying 2 is buffed now, so in general it's just more useful, especially against horrible matchups. I think characters like Fang or Jin were super annoying for Devil Jin because all you got on their -14 loss was a Vesting 4/4. Now you get a full launch. So like a lot of those matchups became much more bearable as well. A lot of -14 moves that force crouch as well that you can launch now. Like it's an insanely useful buff. But at the same time, a move that I've been overseeing a bit, or like I've been neglecting it a bit too much, is background last year. I didn't quite realize at first what the purpose of this move is supposed to be, even with the +3 buff. At this point, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to use this move in a way that it synergizes with down back 2. Both of these moves have a counter follow-up, both of them are +3. They're the same speed, so if they try to end up fuzzying a faster mid or whatever, they will get hit. And those plus frames on block are also pretty useful, especially because you have tools to lock them down with. So either you can loop those plus frames or you can go for more plus frames, you know, plus frames, plus frames, plus frames. This season is all about plus frames and pressure, honestly, and trying to get the opponent to not play the game at all. Hence why you have all this looping stance pressure, heavy mix-ups that you can continuously loop, especially at the wall. Some characters at the wall are currently so insane, you just have no counterplay except guessing right. Which has been the case for quite a while with a lot of characters, but now it's even more brutal because getting wall splatted in the season means taking at least 80 damage. I feel like a lot of these new moves, especially with, let's put counter on. This down 4-2 alone is so much more useful now, especially because it tracks your weak side. You know, going to the right against Devil Jin was the way to go, because you had a hard time tracking them, going to that side. With down 4-2 now tracking to that side entirely and it being countered into heat engager still. Your main goal with Devil Jin this season, honestly, is just trying to land a heat engager and trying to get a mix going. And if you land a mix up here, you're pretty much on the round because you also have like your spike ender into a lot of damage into another mix, so the momentum on this character is currently insane. All you need to do to get it going is land one heat engager into the strongest mix in the game and to try to make the best of it. Like, there are sequences still where I just win 2 to 3 interactions and win the entire round with Devil Jin. And I think it's not really unique to him, but he's definitely one of the strongest at doing so, simply because the reward in this character is so high now. This is why I think he's not bottom 1 currently. If you play your cards right, if you have the execution to do so, and if you have a bit of creative space to actually go for the hard reads you need to go for with this character, he will get rewarded a ton at this point. They buffed his reward quite a lot. And it's buffed to the degree where I think moves like his heat health sweep should probably be toned down. So they just give way too much reward right now. But that's not the point of the video. It's not to argue whether he needs nerfs or not. I'm just here to try and argue that he's probably a good meta pick right now. Yes, there's character that will do some things better than him or just overall more useful in the neutral, but as I said, there's no character that comes close to this character's mix-up after a heat engager. And I think this alone is very valuable. Devil Jin is the definition of explosive right now. You know, just with the launching hell sweep alone, especially in heat, you have so many things you can work around with. Like, sure, your poking is still trash, this still does no damage, this is still a horrible low. This is mediocre, like, it's good, but at the same time, if your opponent ends up fuzzing too much, you're still gonna end up using more mids. And obviously, when you're not currently in the animation of a heat engager, you still have trouble trying to get reward out of landing mids. I think this character is a bit baity right now. Like, he has so many panic tools and gimmicky things going for him still. Panic moves without end and stuff like back 4-2-3 being the way it is. Like, there's a lot of things here that we need to keep in mind with this character, that even though he's so explosive and rewarding, there's also risk to almost everything he does. It's like, the character in a nutshell is, the risk reward is high, like the risk is high, but the reward is also high. But at the same time, compared to other characters, you don't really have means to play safely. Like 4-2-3 can still be ducked, 1-1-2 can still be ducked. Yes, you have mid options to cover them. They're not really that scary, I would say, to stop you from ducking those options, like eating back 4-2-1. It's not a reason to stop ducking for back 4-2-3 in my opinion, especially since back 4-2-3 usually ends up coming out in the same situations, like near the wall, or like after heat dash, you know, those kinds of situations. And I don't think there's any Devil Jin players that use back 4-2-3 in the neutral. So you need to be careful with those moves, like down 4-1-2, back 4-2-3, the panic moves. All those moves carry risk, and even your hell sweep carries a risk. But I think if you play your cards right and try to mitigate those risks, try to play more around safe reads, and if you manage to end up being right on a lot of those reads, the character will reward you a ton. And that's why I think he's nowhere near being bottom 1 right now. You can argue maybe he's in the mid-tier of the cast right now, maybe he's below it, maybe higher, I don't know. I'm not experienced enough in Season 2 to tell you exactly. All I do know is the more I played in the season, I just know that he's more than just bottom 5. I think there's characters who have it worse this season. It's an unpopular opinion maybe, but I feel like characters like Shaheen are falling off right now. He is very strong, don't get me wrong, but I feel like those kinds of poking characters are not in the spotlight anymore unless you're playing a matchup like against Hakum Ram where bullying is still the way to go. But other than that, I feel like unless you're playing against a bully meta, this character is doing really well right now. Devil Jin, I mean. But yeah, I just wanted to quickly talk about the character state right now. Obviously, a character state changes with every single patch. The character is always touched in one way or another, buff or nerf, it doesn't matter. He's super controversial. He was always super controversial. I just wanted to give you my opinion on him real quick, and I just wanted to say he is worth playing right now, at least in my opinion. Anyway, thanks for listening. Momo out. I'll see you guys soon. Peace, peace, peace.